This is your weekly YouTube channel audit livestream. All you need to do is use the correct link in the description, fill out the form, and we'll consider your channel for review. That's right, channel reviews are free, but you can send us a super chat and watch us discuss your question live on air. If you submit your channel for review, expect the following. We will share with you our knowledge, experience, and passion as fellow YouTube creators. I want to give a massive shout out and thanks to our moderators who do an awesome job every single live stream. And that's your onboarding done. What channels have you brought us this week?
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another vidIQ live stream. If you want us to look at your channel, I highly recommend you click the like button. I recommend you let people know who joined the stream to also hit the like button. And that is how you enter to win a channel review. That's how it works today, because we have this new technology where we can see everybody who's liked the stream. And if you believe me, then that is your first lesson learned. Don't believe a liar. Okay? I'm kidding. I'm not. Well, I'm okay. I lied about that, but I'm not regularly lying. I don't know. Rob will vouch for me. Rob?
You are tying yourself in giveaway knots right there, Dan. It's interesting you say that, though, like tangential little conversation. I saw a short from Mr. Beast today who said, and I think it was from his channel, that he was giving away an iPhone and all you needed to do was subscribe to the channel. And I was wondering, well, how does Mr. Beast know which video a subscriber subscribed to in order to do the giveaway? And that made me wonder about such competitions. But anyway, that's all an aside. Hello, everybody. It is wonderful to see you today. I am a very proud Canadian today. And Dan,
What?
You are looking suave.
Thank you.
And that's all there is to say about you in this live stream.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Well, today we're here to look at your channels. The forms are down below. We've pre-selected some channels, and then later we will randomly select some channels. I don't think there's any other gimmicks we're going to hit you with, at least none that I know of. We know how the stream can go. But let's go ahead and jump in, I suppose.
All right. Wow. This might be a record. 2.5 minutes, and we're already into it.
Yeah.
It's me.
So the first channel we're looking at today is going to be called Kryptonite Corner. They want to educate the public on everything Superman. They want to build a long-form audience. And specifically, this is what kind of intrigued me, the 30-second introduction on my long-form video, Why Henry Cavill. I lose half my audience. So I guess within the introduction of this specific video, they lose half their audience. They want to know what's up. So I thought that could start a pretty interesting conversation.
Let's just do it. Let's just go straight for that video. Don't do anything else, Dan.
Yeah.
Let's go for the jugular.
Where is it? Why?
We've got to find it now. That's the problem.
It's got to be this one, right? It's the first one I see. The Y is the first word in the title. So 3 weeks ago. Oh, they upload a lot. All right. Yeah. Let's see what happens.
Do it.
It's just them like flipping off the camera. Why did you click on this? Why does everyone leave?
And yet 50% still stayed. All right, let's do this.
All right, we got some subtitles. I'm going to turn up my volume. Hopefully it's not blowing anyone out of the water. Hopefully it's hearable.
How is it possible that since Man of Steel came out over a decade ago, you still can't think about Superman without Henry Cavill popping into your mind? He is the first Superman actor to have that much weight since Christopher Reeve. So let's dive into 7 things that Man of Steel got right. And more importantly, let's see if James Gunn is doing the same thing. And let me know in the comments. Guys, this is a brand new channel solely on...
So just judging from the... Hello, Dance Cat. Judging from the intro aside and nothing else, not getting a deeper appreciation of a specific niche, I thought that was a pretty impactful hook to me. Good use of B-roll, but done in a very transformative way. The creator gets on camera very, very quick, has energy, enthusiasm, passion. I love all of that. There is a call to action. I'm going to let that slide because it wasn't too pleading. It was just kind of added as a lower third, as we can see here. Didn't necessarily address that specifically. So to answer the question, why is 50% of my audience disappearing in the first 30 seconds? I wouldn't necessarily say it's because of the structure and the... Whoa, what happened there, Dan?
I'm getting sneezed
Oh
on by
my
a cat.
goodness. That deserves that. God.
Okay, I'm glad we can't hear it today.
Nothing like getting distracted as I'm doing my first audit. But yeah, Dan, TLDR of all of that, I thought the hook and intro was very, very good.
I thought it was solid. I agree. I think for this one to try and like guess why people might be clicking off early, I'm gonna have to really split hairs and like make some assumptions.
Yep.
We did happen to pause on that call to action, the subscribe to my channel, and we are still within the first 30 seconds. So I don't think this was a bad place to put it, just because you made it pretty clear the quality of your video before we watched. So this is not a bad time to say, if you like what you're seeing so far, subscribe. But I also don't think it's needed here. I also don't think this is the reason people are clicking away. There was one thing at the beginning where I thought maybe that's why, and it was the first words uttered in this intro.
How is it possible that since Man of Steel came out over a decade ago, you still can't think about Superman without Henry Cavill?
What if I don't relate to that?
Yeah.
That, I guess that could maybe be the thing.
I'm with you on this. Are people for this very specific Superman niche not actually bothered about the Henry Cavill version of Superman? And the only way to support or bust this theory, Dan, is to go to the channel and see. I don't know if we do a search for Henry Cavill or we try and find other videos that are on that version of the franchise. What would you call it? Like the mid-teens Superman version? Because there's been several iterations now.
A lot of shorts. I think it might be the only long form video for a bit. Okay, there's 3 weeks ago. I put Henry and maybe it's picking up the description too. Now, okay, this is interesting.
Right.
Do haters of the new DCU Superman have a point? 2.1K views. That's kind of interesting. I guess I'm just wondering how divided your audience is on certain things.
Let's just bring it down a bit further. Okay, let's see. I guess what we're trying to establish here is this the entire channel? Okay, so it's only 2 months. So I guess another argument would be, hey, you're still very new to this YouTube journey. And I think you've gone in pretty strong with covering the imminent release Superman. So I think that's where the core of your audience is, at a bit of a guess right now.
Mm.
And it may just be that when you decided to go with the lead of Henry Cavill and not the Superman of a decade ago, not the Superman of 100 days into the future, that's what caused people to click off. It's like that's a very easy and immediate choice for the viewer to make. Like this is going to be all about, as you say, Dan, maybe the Superman I'm not here for. I'm checking out of this one.
Maybe, but I mean, it is in the title. They should have gone in with that expectation, I suppose. There's only one other thing I would normally look at when it's low viewer retention in the first 30 seconds. Is the title matching what we're getting in the intro? Why Henry Cavill's Superman remains so popular? And they pose this question, why is this the person we think of? Does that answer the question of the title right off the bat, right? Like, why is it that this is the person that comes to our minds when we think Superman? It's kind of like, I don't know. I was going somewhere with that and I lost the
Superman actor who have that much weight since Christopher Reeve. So let's dive into 7 things that Man of Steel got right. And more importantly, let's see if...
I think that's it. I think in the first 20 seconds, if you're saying Henry Cavill, Man of Steel, well, for the last 10, 15 videos, you've been talking about the reaction to the trailer of a new video, the new Superman and all that stuff. I think it could be as clear cut as that.
Yeah.
But I think having said all of that, Dan, if we go back to the channel as a whole, I don't think this is something to really sweat and concern yourself on, because in my opinion, for where you are, the 20 videos that you've done, the fact that you're already getting hundreds of views on some of these videos, some of them are getting thousands of views. Where are we at subscriber wise? Let's have a look at the count there. We're at
56.
nearly 500.
Yep.
And they're already doing shorts. My
Mhm.
guess is some of those shorts have probably done pretty well. If we just click on shorts down sort by most popular, we find out if they've had any sort of semi-viral moments. Yeah, so
Okay.
some that are already getting tens of thousands of views. I would be really encouraged about where they are in their YouTube journey. And they've still got, I think, 2 or 3 months before this Superman film comes out. So, like, you are in the right place. You're making the right content. All right, sometimes you're experimenting with content, with topics that don't work quite as well as others. I think this is just a message for you that right now, maybe you don't want to do Henry Cavill Superman content. Maybe you save that until the film is released, and then you can do some direct comparisons with the film that's coming out soon.
Mhm. I completely agree. That was what I was gonna say as well. Like, we can break this video down all we want. End of the day, though, you moved on to your next video and it did much better, and that's all that matters. You don't get hung up on stuff like this. There's so many nuances. As soon as I said that maybe people don't relate to thinking of Henry Cavill first, we have people in the comments like, "Wait a minute, I do." So it's just it's there's so many nuances to this, and you could sit here and rack your brain forever. And if you distract yourself with stuff like this too much, you won't be making your next video and getting 1,000 or 2,000 views on it. You're gonna be just bummed out that the thing you worked really hard on didn't get views.
Final point, I think, for this channel, Dan, if you scroll up to the top, you see the thumbnail, 7 reasons why Superman 3 is horrifying. As a child, that scene where that lady gets turned into an android was terrifying, and that is triggering me. Please, let's move on to the next channel.
Okay. Kryptonite Corner, good luck to you. We'll move on to the first gaming channel that we selected for today. They are trying to create a positive community around gaming. Their obstacle right now, they feel like, is niching down, which we'll talk about. And they want us to focus on their title and thumbnail synergy.
Synergy. All right.
They are Thalry Games. I hope I'm saying that correctly. They have 10K subscribers, which is pretty cool.
Awesome.
We are, between 1,000 to 3,000 views, sometimes taking off 16K views here. So they're enjoying some decent view counts from time to time, and they are covering what seems to be kind of games in the cozy space, cozy adjacent, stuff like that. So
what is a cozy genre?
Oh, sure. Fields of Mysteria is one. I thought that was a top 10 video. They do cover a number of games.
Would you say like Animal Crossing and Stardew Valley are also cozy games? All right.
So these, I would agree with, I think, all of these. Once again, Chef RPG, Roots of Pacha, Echoes of the Plum Grove, which you might like. That actually is a pretty interesting one. Monster Care Simulator. So yeah, these videos for any niche, I think, are really, really good because they bring in like the larger community. I know of a lot of successful channels that do just top 10 lists of games in their genre, especially one like this that's releasing stuff all the time. And cozy's interesting because it's not really a genre. It's more of a label that games can earn. Like, I've always considered Skyrim a cozy game, depending on how you play it and how you're feeling when you're playing it. So it just kind of depends on the individual. Anyway, so they mentioned niching down.
Well, so the question I asked, Dan, is there concern niching out or niching in a sense that are they worried about trying to get more specific with content, or they want to broaden their audience with a wider? Your cat today, Dan, is just...
I know it's a lot. I was going to ask the same question of them because as soon as I saw their forum post and then looked at their channel, I'm like, this is a cool channel. I just don't know exactly when they say they want to niche down, like they're struggling with that. There's so much we don't know about you as a creator to give really specific advice, which is why a lot of our advice tends to come down to look inward, right? Look at your channel, look at the things that did well, and out of those things, what did you enjoy making the most? 7 tips you need to know before playing Love and Deep.
So Love and Deep Space is their anchor content.
Yeah.
So,
oh wow.
So essentially, like, if the question is how do I niche down, you already have the answer here pretty simply. But I'm guessing, my guess is they already know this, and they want to maybe niche out, and that is why, if we go back to the latest videos, am I right in thinking, Dan, that pretty much every video is a different game? Looks to be still like within this maybe anime style of gaming content. I don't know if that marries itself with cozy gaming as well. But yeah, that's where they seem to be. And they have like a core audience of maybe 1 to 3,000 people, with then occasional outliers, again, such as this one that's Get Your Couple Ring for a game called Affinity. And then Love and Deep Space is also there. That again, that just falls back into the territory of going back to your roots, and the audience returns with that content.
Yeah, it seems like you can get away with one of like 2 big buckets right now.
Yeah.
You can play games like this, where it's these like dating simulators and things like that. Or you can dive deeper into stuff like this, where you're giving more news-related content around games in the space, games that you relate to, games that the audience relates to. You can keep doing both, I think, but I guess the desire to niche down a little bit is coming from the fact that, you know, when you see a channel with 10K and you see view counts like the ones you're getting, where they're a bit spiky here and there, I'm sure that it gets a little frustrating at times. It's hard to know which way to go. You can keep doing what you're doing, or you can make a change. But yeah, I'm hesitant to point you in a specific direction, because it's really about what you enjoy at the end of the day.
They're in a pretty good space as a gaming channel at the moment, Dan, in the sense that, you know, we see other channels do this and they're barely getting a dozen views because, and we label these channels as not having enough focus. This channel has been able to break out of that trap. And so I think the word you use there, I think, is best here, where they have buckets. Like, they have a specific bucket on a game that knows to work. So my suggestion might be is within the what was the game again? Love and Deep Space content. That could be an opportunity for you to get really creative with how you make those videos, because you know the audience is going to watch that content. And then with the experimental stuff, you're probably wanting to make videos which are a bit more straightforward, trying to address the biggest total addressable market for like a new audience, but then really having a freedom and a play around with the content that you already know to work. Would be my general thoughts. Just going back to a form, did they ask us to look at? Oh, it was the title and thumbnail synergy, wasn't it? That was the thing that we wanted to look at, right? So what I wanted to know about the thumbnails was that these are really good in the sense that there's a really subtle but strong piece of branding, which I think is in the font and the color of the fonts. Very easy to read, nice, big, blocky, and you have this, I think it's like a subtle purple stroke effect, or sometimes a purple background on the font, and that is all of the branding they need. I see similarities in these thumbnails, even if the characters are completely different from game to game. So I think they've nailed down the thumbnail strategy there. As for titles, like, again, give me 30 minutes and you'll get your couple ring in no time. I think that's a really attractive, alluring title to draw somebody into the content. On that one, maybe could we emphasize the ring a little bit more? I'm not sure. I think it works to a certain extent. And then maybe another one: should you play this Silas fan-made dating sim? Again, just a general question asking the audience. Thumbnail says kitten ? That creates a bit of curiosity, a bit of intrigue. So I think their synergy is working pretty well there for the content. I don't feel as if there's a packaging issue here, Dan. I feel as if it's maybe a channel strategy decision that they need to really firm up.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I think you can do exactly what you're doing and enjoy some views, because you are kind of bouncing between, you know, reviewing specific features of different games and covering like a specific genre of game, and you're getting views. Like you know, you are getting views. So when you think content buckets, you could almost consider that to be audience buckets. If you change nothing, you're probably just going to have different audiences that keep an eye on your channel. But yeah, I just with any channel at all, it's really, really important to ask yourself, like, what did I enjoy making the most? And when you're filling out the forms for us, when you're submitting your channels, that information is really helpful, because if this creator had an idea of like, these are my favorite videos, but I'm not sure I can like make a channel out of it, we could have dove deeper into like that discussion. So I don't know if you have that kind of information in you already, if you kind of know like what you liked, didn't like, or maybe you haven't done that analysis yet, that's fine too. But just something to keep in mind when you're filling these out.
All right, Dan. I think you know what it's time for, don't you?
Sure.
No, that's the wrong.
It doesn't matter. We can't hear it anyway.
Oh,
like your screen is broken.
I'm completely frozen.
No, we can see you. It just
all right.
It looks like your screen's just turning red for no reason.
Did you hear the noise then?
No.
So if I play that, you're not hearing that sound effect anyway. Okay.
No.
Oh, okay. It's time for Rob Wilson's self-indulgent gaming corner. Dan, tell us what games you've been playing while I try and fix my sound effects.
Oblivion.
I need more than that. I'm still trying to fix my.
Sorry, Oblivion remastered.
Cool. Is it fun? Is it good? Do you have to start from the beginning? Tell us a little bit more.
No, it's fun.
Is that working?
No. It is fun. It's the best remaster I've ever played of any game. And it is as if Oblivion was made. There you go.
There you go.
It is as if Oblivion was made in 2025, like as if it was a brand new game. Like they changed the UI. I wouldn't say they added a bunch of quality of life features or anything, but it's just rock solid. It's definitely, I would say, out of games I own, probably the most gorgeous looking game I've ever played. Just that's how much detail they put into the remaster. So a lot of fun. I love going around and just stumbling upon people with random quests and, failing them. I love trying to join the different guilds. Like I had to kill somebody to join the Dark Brotherhood and I couldn't find anyone. I kept getting caught by guards and that was annoying. And then I finally found someone bopping around the forest and they are no more. And now I'm in the Dark Brotherhood. So that was fun.
I love the fact now that everybody gets the assignment. Like we didn't ask anybody what games they were playing, but now they're just flooding the chat. Awesome to see. Dan, I finished Final Fantasy 16 and I enjoyed it incredibly, immensely. I have now moved on to the latest Prince of Persia game. I can't remember what the subtitle is of it, unfortunately. But what I want to talk to you about is games that force you to create an account. And Prince of Persia forced me to try and create a Ubisoft account. And I was pretty angry about that.
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, not through YouTube, surprisingly, but through Reddit, I discovered that if you just disconnect your console from the internet while you're going through the initial pages, it just lets you in anyway. So hopefully Ubisoft, you're not watching this and you're going to ban me from playing the game. But I guess like what is a fair tolerance here? Because I'm kind of thinking like we hate this. Like why do we have to give more data and information just to play a video game? But like if you think about the YouTube platform, like we would be completely against people using ad blockers because that really harms the community and the creators. So should we just accept going forward that we have to create accounts to play video games? I don't know. I'm trying to play devil's advocate. I think it's a terrible idea and I never want to do it. But are we approaching a life of 40 different accounts to play 35 games because some games are from the same developer, so you can use that account multiple times?
I'm trying not to let you set me off too bad, but what I will say is that in the case of that particular company and other companies as well, there is a huge problem with companies that want you to create an account and then at the end of the day can still rip the game away from you for whatever reason in the future, and that's even more bothersome to me. Like you earn your money from buying the game, you earn your money from selling my data potentially, and then you still take away the game. So I don't know. We're kind of in this really sticky situation right now with gaming in general, where you download something and there's no guarantee it stays in your library forever if things go awry. And that's like a totally separate issue. But if you don't have to make an account, that means like you're downloading something and it's yours, and Ubisoft doesn't need to track you. They don't need to determine if they have to take it away in the future or whatever. You just bought a game and you own it. And they in particular are trying to say in a court case right now, they're the company, I think I have that right. They're saying that like, well, no, you don't own any of the games you buy from us. We're pretty clear about that. You don't own those things.
You have the license and nothing more.
Yeah, that is like a whole. Obviously, it's a whole like gaming podcast topic we could get into, but yeah, I don't like it. I don't support it at all. Then again, I buy most of my games on Steam. How is that much different? I don't know, but it's just a very interesting kind of like world gaming has kind of moved into.
And then the final self-indulgent gaming corner news story this week is I have a few physical games left. Play most of my stuff on the PlayStation Network now, but some games aren't available. And those were Final Fantasy 16, Spider-Man 2, and Red Dead Redemption 1. I had all of those games, discs, really enjoyed them. I traded them in. Do you think this was a good swap? Cyberpunk 2077. I think I've got the year right on that.
Okay.
Space Marine 2 Warhammer 40k. And you'll like this, Dan. Stray.
Oh, Stray's great.
I got Stray.
Stray's a bit
And these
short.
are all games I'm trying to get, physical games that are not available yet on the PlayStation Network. So I've got like kind of a few games that I'm still recycling through. I loved all of the games I played, really enjoyed them, completed them through to completion, and now traded them in. And those, from trading them in, those new games only cost me £15.
Okay.
And
that's not bad.
That experience as a gamer is going to die in the next decade, isn't it? Trade-ins will not exist. People have to play the license for whatever the distributor wants to charge.
Yeah. It's a fun world we're living in there. But no, I don't think that's too bad. I didn't know where you're going with that. But yeah, you'll enjoy those games, I think. But when are you going to play Stardew? You said you're going to play Stardew. What's going on?
Oh, so I don't want to extend the indulgent self-gaming corner any further, but
I do.
Dead Trigger 2. This is an ancient zombie game on iOS, Android, and I've got myself into that. Again, with the controller, it's just been an absolute transformation of an experience. So yeah, I haven't got Stardew Valley yet. Maybe when I finish that. The problem is, Dan, it costs money, and I'm not used to spending any money on a mobile device for a game.
Oh, because you're playing on mobile.
Yeah.
Oh no, you should play it on like a console.
No. I feel as if that's something I want to play on my iPad, like just while I'm waking up or going to bed, or like I've got a few minutes.
Okay. Yeah, okay, I can see that. But it's the whole game. So that's good. I mean, you're spending money on the whole thing. All right. Well,
we should move on, really. We should move on. Thank you, everybody, for allowing me to indulge myself.
Yeah. We'll move on to Elementality Studios.
Yeah.
This is a channel Rob selected ahead of the stream here. And the goal of their channel is to teach a new way to create musical melodies and or have viewers commission me to make jingles and themes, which is awesome. I have a friend that I ask to do stuff like this for me all the time, and I'm very thankful for their talents. How to best convert viewers to go to a website, become members, patrons, etc. So we can talk about this a little bit, their obstacle. And then they want us to focus on their intro and outro. 124 Smash Bros. Jingles video would be best to view.
Okay. Shall we start with that Smash Brothers one then, if we can find it?
I want to do the Severance one, but that's fine.
I thought you might do, Dan. This is one of the reasons why I picked the channel. Because, Severance, Dan will love that, but we're not looking at that video. So where is it? Where's the Smash Brothers one?
I don't know.
Maybe you need to search for it.
Okay. Yeah.
Smash.
Oh, there it is.
There we go. All right, then.
What if we took the names of characters from the Super Smash Bros. Series and turned them into jingles? We can achieve this by using my letters to notes methodology, where we repeat the English alphabet across the musical notes A through G. We will take the name of a character, spell them out on the piano, and turn it into a melody. Sometimes the notes clash with each other. For example, having an F and a B creating that tritone, which may not necessarily fit with the personality of the character. My solution is to use creative interpretation by
using... All right, pause the video. So, my assessment is that I love the way that the creator is welcoming in a brand new viewer to this channel, explaining what they're doing, essentially turning keys on a keyboard or piano into letters. Does anybody remember when you used to text with a number pad and it would, like, 0 would be assigned to, like, ABC or whatever? I can't remember. how it worked. But this is kind of the same theory. And the fact that they explained that in the first 10 to 15 seconds was brilliant. When they get into the dual key things and whatever, I feel as if that's a bit too much information right now. That could probably be held back until a little later on in the video where you come across one of these moments and you say, well, that didn't sound too right, and this is why. So like maybe a little over explaining there. But besides from that, I love the fact that this creator is treating the viewer like a fresh set of eyes and ears. And if they were able to keep that intro down to 10 to 15 seconds, I think returning viewers would forgive them that introduction every single time.
Yep.
I think it just went on a little too much here. I want to be hearing jingles at this point, 25 seconds in.
Yes. Yeah. I was going to say the exact same thing. This, to me, you had intro part 1, which was perfect. You explained how you were going to come up with the melodies and it sounded good. Intro part 2, I'm like, when is the video starting? And all it would have taken is like that moment when the notes clash, come back to these screens and everything. You could have literally cut this out and moved it to that part of the video. And then it would feel like, oh, I see how we're getting around this. And so it would just keep the flow going. So yeah, that is exactly where it's at. But I'm really curious about this overall concept, this idea.
Yeah, it's a cool idea, isn't it? Like, I've never seen this before on YouTube.
The amount of views you're getting on these, it's just really, really cool. And this is like the perfect way to combine your talents and also target a specific niche on YouTube. Like, it doesn't matter if you're not super interested in music necessarily. Like, if you like Smash Brothers, if you like these games that you're doing this with, there's something for that audience there. And, you know, like Rob said, you're explaining this in a way that respects the viewer. We go into this knowing what you're trying to get to. Let's see. Good to know. I have a lot of people who ask me specific stuff about jingles, so that's why I started explaining more. You think I should add that info later in the video? Yes,
I think so, because they're going to be regular viewers who are already invested in the video, so they're going to watch it, probably most of it, regardless. I think it's just important for that new viewer to get them in and hook them. I just don't think it quite did it in this intro. And Dan, thinking about what they should be doing over the next couple of months, like, I hope you've pre-ordered a Switch 2 and you are getting it on launch day and doing a video about the Mario Kart team or whatever.
Yeah.
Because that is like a trending opportunity that is coming to you like a giant tsunami of views if you can get a video out on like day 1 or 2 of the release.
So without needing to actually watch it, I make jingles play back to back. Do you think the info would disrupt the flow? Okay, this is interesting. So let's actually watch a little bit and see how this plays out.
This is turning into a live channel audit now.
Hey, I like this. This is great.
The series. Right. Let's lay down a few ground rules here. First, we will be taking the names of the characters as...
Okay, so this isn't it's bad.
Yeah, ground rules. Like, come on, give us like 2 or 3 just plain examples, then the ground rules, then the application.
I think you would benefit from watching some like large gaming channels who do like their intros and pay attention to how they split up the explanation of the challenge they're doing in that video or what it might be. But yeah, let's skip the rules a little bit, even though I am interested in them.
Yeah.
Peach, etc. For characters that have the and symbol that are named separately, you get the idea. In any character that...
See, at this point, as a new viewer, I might have checked out.
Yeah, it's really turning off the new viewer at this point. We haven't heard a single jingle, and we're 2 minutes in.
Well, we may have heard some jingles, but I just think it's kind of like have you heard me use this term before? Any viewers? Tube explaining, where you're just trying to explain absolutely everything and not giving the viewer any credit of I get it, or you've told me all of these things. I can't remember what you first told me now.
Yeah.
I know we're being a little brutal here and we're skipping through the video, but I guess this is the feedback that we're interested in.
So you've unlocked the ability for me to get a little bit deeper here in a way that I'm not normally able to in these. But here's what I'll say. Like, when I'm preparing for a challenge video in like in a gaming sense, like I'm going to take on a big challenge in a game, the number one rule I have is the challenge easy to understand on its face? So can I title and thumbnail my challenge video in a way that when I see the title and thumbnail, I know exactly what I'm getting, even if I don't play that specific game or, whatever it is. And you did a perfect job with your title, 124 Smash Bros. Characters turned into jingles. You could even just said all Smash Bros. Characters turned into jingles or whatever. The number, it could have been in the thumbnail, but yeah, like we can change little nuances here and there, but this was a perfect title. Now, we're 3 minutes into the video and we're getting our first jingle. And you've set up a lot of stuff and it's great. Like I love the creativity going into it, but you've given me too much now. Like 3 minutes of preamble is a lot to commit to when I just wanted to see the very cool thing that you did. So you have to figure out a way to, the title and thumbnail have to be clear, but so does the intro. The intro needs to feel like there's not too many rules to this challenge. I understand it, because that's the third part of that. If I'm going to do a challenge, I make sure to give myself no more than 4 or 5 rules / stipulations, like things that I can or can't do in the video, and they need to be nice and simple to understand. And so you're in a very similar space here, even though you're not playing a game or doing that kind of challenge. You're just like, there's some rules and there's some parameters. Give me the cliff notes of that. Like, just break that down to the smallest bare bones. And then if you run into other issues like notes clashing, then you say, oh, you might have heard this one and it kind of sucks, right? Well, that's because of this problem, but I'm going to fix it by doing this. And then you play it, right? So break it up a little bit more so you can still explain things, but we're over, like Rob said, we're tube explaining, we're over explaining everything. And you've taken the nice, simple idea and you've just made me go, what is happening? Now, I don't want to be too harsh. 50,000 views is nothing to sneeze at. So you're not saying you're doing anything detrimentally wrong, but I still think as a new viewer, I would be enjoying this so much more if the stuff started happening earlier. And I bet if you look at your retention, there may be a dip somewhere in here and people come back here, and that's not a terrible thing, but some people might dip and then not come back. So that's my explanation. Now, they mentioned back-to-back jingles, and that's what I was going to say. Like, so they're not doing commentary, I think, from here on out. Now I think it's only jingles. So they front-loaded all the commentary. It's not bad. I don't know.
So let's just skip to like 6 minutes.
Yeah.
So now are we doing, is it just 9 minutes of these different characters, different jingles? Because then we have another problem whereby the pace is just completely one tone. And that's why it might be nice to have these interjections of the little stories about how notes affect the names of the characters and so on. It'd be interesting to see what the audience retention is as we go through all of these. And are people scanning around the timeline to try and find their favorite character and what they sound like?
Yeah.
Have you muted it now?
I did.
Okay. It's just that for the rest of the video, isn't it? Or that's what it appears to be.
Yeah. I kind of wonder if it was chaptered, like, if would people be skipping around more intentionally and in a good way? Like, there's a lot of characters to get through.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And this is a very interesting way to make jingles, by the way. Like, this is still very, especially if you're into music, I can see this being like really like, oh wow, you know what I mean? They've created such a cool way to make songs.
Can we just have a look at one of their shorts? Because I think they are doing shorts, and I'm wondering if this is just like, because I saw the thumbnails and I thought, all right, this is really like, it's kind of branded in a really cool way. Like these are not thumbnails, but the way the videos are presented just automatically thumbnails them, which is brilliant. And they're getting some cool views on some of these. But yeah, let's just play one of these. Just curious how it works.
Oh,
it needs sound.
It's not playing.
It's not playing. So I'm wondering, again, this might be an experiment. Does there need to be like a 3-second or 5-second explainer, which is what happens if you turn characters into piano keys? This is what they sound like.
Yeah.
Is the viewer having to make a bit of a stretch here to try and get what this short's about? Again, I don't know. I could be wrong there. I'm not sure if that would help or hinder the short.
Spelling the names of Nintendo characters using piano keys.
Yeah.
That could be like enough of just that one sentence could explain what we're seeing. It's really cool. It's extra creative. I really, really love this, especially for a music channel. Like we see a lot of music channels and we struggle a little bit. Like, okay, this person just wants to share their music with everybody and they're kind of lost in the sauce. There's just so much competition. And this is just such a unique way to take your talents and like cater them to a new audience and get in on trends and pop culture. And it's awesome. Like I'm very impressed overall, like by the all the skill sets this creator possesses, especially titles and thumbnails. They're awesome. Like they're doing a really good job. I think it's just a matter of like structuring the video for new viewers because this is fantastic for you. I was just sitting there like that 3-minute intro. I think I would have left a little early. I at least would have skipped ahead.
The other interesting question here, Dan, is I appreciate and applaud the fact that they're not just trying to pigeonhole themselves as the guy who turns Nintendo characters into piano jingles, and they're doing other videos.
Yeah.
But there does seem to be, if we just scroll down a little bit here, because we can see Xenoblade's Genshin, like, and you see some of those don't really pick up either. So I don't think they're tied to that format exclusively.
When
There's
you
an
do-
outlier, Sonic characters, yeah, and then Marvel Rivals. Okay,
This,
so that was a nice
like,
little run of views.
Yeah, this is where you shine when it comes to just getting a lot of views. You do these really big videos where you put yourself to the test of like creating so many little songs and jingles. The people are here for this. This is why I use the challenge video comparison, because it does feel like you're taking on a gaming challenge in a way.
All right, let's quickly talk then about the business side of things, because I think that was mentioned in the form, wasn't it, about how to get them to the Patreon. And also, I have a concern about how if they can protect this idea, especially with AI. I'm wondering if this could be easily turned into an AI type of idea and channel. Unfortunately, so.
Interesting.
Because like I think the idea is very fresh and unique, but because it's based on notes, keys, characters, I feel as if that could be reproduced AI wise. But there is still like the creator does still have their own unique perspective and personality that's going to shine on the channel. Or if somebody does try and replicate this, they're not going to care because only really one person can do this. You can't have multiple channels making this type of content. It is so unique.
It's unique. There's other ways you can go about it too. If you can play other instruments, you can introduce those over time. There's a lot of things you can do to set yourself apart, and I think you've already started. Just like this, the foundation of these ideas is really, really good. You can also invent other, and I don't know enough about music to give you examples, but I feel like you can invent other ways of making jingles instead of just dedicating letters of people's names to keys. You know what I mean? Like you could keep experimenting with different formats in a similar vein. I think there's a lot of places you can go here. I mean, I think if you just wrote jingles for each Smash Bros. Character, but you didn't have this convention of how you've like set up your piano, I think that could still be interesting. What if instead of it would based on like letters in their name, it was based on their personalities, and you were just making like this is how Nintendo should, make intro music for each character in Super Smash. This is what I would like to see. So there's a lot of ways you can go with this. I'm not super worried about the AI element, no more than I am for any other creator, I guess is what I'm saying. But I think they're doing a really, really good job. It's such a cool. Oh, they play saxophone too. It's such a cool
saxophone. All right.
Yeah. Oh. And you did the thing where you play multiple instruments and stitch together. I love that. So
I just do not know how anyone makes content like that. The time and effort and precision that must go into it.
Yeah.
Mind-boggling.
So yeah, I hope we've been helpful. I became pretty passionate about this one, but it was good. It's a really good pick. Thank you for sharing, and congrats on over 10K.
Yeah, well done.
We will go to the last pre-selected channel before getting into random selections, and I also picked a music channel It's Metal Millennia. They are expressing themselves and representing the country through music and humor. I'm mainly a saxophonist. This was insightful. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for being here. Their biggest obstacle right now is lacking of patience, lacking of a studio, which is interesting. And then for us, thumbnails, titles, posting strategy, times to post, long form, short. So everything. Take a look at everything, please. So channels here. They have 36 subscribers, and I picked them because I noticed they were doing some pretty unique stuff. Now, we've seen people do covers of songs before, and this is always where I kind of like turn away from music channels because I'm like, I don't know what I don't know how to help you do real good. I don't know,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
but I saw them interviewing people and trying to, like they said, like bring more attention to music in their community. And that kind of resonated with me. And this seemed like another way you could potentially see a music channel have a more unique approach rather than just, let me just cover some songs and upload it to YouTube.
Mm.
So my first impression really came from looking at this video interview with Petkov. I'm sorry if I'm saying that very wrong, but they're a violin maker and first time trying to play the violin. I assume that's your first time trying to play the violin and you are with a violin maker. And I thought, oh, the packaging of this video could have probably been so much better. Because this is one of those examples where if you want a really wide audience, you have to assume that the people, this guy could be famous in this space for all I know, but you have to assume the people seeing your video have no idea who this person is, you know, and you're trying to introduce people to them. I would have focused way more on the fact that they make violins. You know, violin maker makes me a violin, something to that effect. And you can show a broken down violin. You can show a whole rack of violins in the thumbnail. Like there's so many, or, you know, point to them making a violin. Like there's so many cool things we could have done to see some action in the thumbnail. Like I'm less interested in the part where you play one. I think that's a cool thing for in the video itself, but for the thumbnail, I think it's really unique to talk to someone who builds instruments. And I think that could attract an audience.
Well done. I have quite the opposite idea for that video. Because as soon as I learned that this is a guitarist playing a violin for the first time, it reminded me of the types of videos where you're doing like a bit of a contrast where Brit tries American food for the first time. Like you're going into the unknown, like you're kind of familiar with it, but at the same time, you're a musician, but you've never played this instrument before. So like, I don't know if they are a heavy metal guitarist. Let's just say they are, for example, but like heavy metal guitarist tries to plays violin for the first time. And might be my approach to it, whereby the initial packaging is them trying and making and failing completely. But then it goes into more of a storytelling of this violin maker and how a violin is made and maybe how they're learning, the difference between what they're familiar with and what they're having to adapt to. Mm-hmm. Not saying your approach is wrong, Dan, and certainly my approach could be wrong, but like that's two different approaches that are a lot different and I think more intriguing and curious than interview with person that I perhaps have never even heard of. And then the title's like, again, trying to do too much. He's trying to carry too many branches of a story.
I agree. I think they could literally make both of those videos. I don't think either is an incorrect approach, but I do think you and I are both on the same page in terms of it's cool to see another music channel doing something unique that, involves music, but has, I would say, a broader appeal than just, I don't really play guitar. I don't really, you know what I mean?
We're trying to share like the journey and the passion and the challenges. It's not just making music on YouTube, which like let's play video game channels on YouTube. There are hundreds of thousands of them. And so this channel is doing something different. And the fact that they've already published what looks to be, is this their entire rack of videos, or do they have a few more down there? They've done 22 videos. So that is like a good cadence. I'm guessing maybe they started in January of this year, like their New Year's resolution. Like cool. The shorts are kind of probably where they should be right now. They're just starting to pick up a bit of traction. I'm noticing they've gone from hundreds of views to thousands of views. So certainly keep the shorts. Well, I'm saying that, Dan, and I'm suddenly realizing, you know why that is. It's because shorts views are just counted in a stupid way these days.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. I guess the one thing I would say is that channel banner. What? Come on now.
Yeah, like
It doesn't even look as if it's like one of the generic ones. It's like a custom channel banner that makes it look like a tourist channel.
Yeah, yeah. I guess that comes from like the Eastern Europe millennial part of their description.
Perhaps.
I think the one thing I was going to say, and I noticed this about a few descriptions today, so this might just be good for anybody. When you're writing your channel description, I don't think a lot of people click these. We do, but in general, I think it's a good place to start from like a mindset of, if I read a channel description, what do I want? I want to know what's in it for me as the viewer, and it's good to learn about you and stuff like that. But I think this is like a good example of like right down the middle. This channel aims to show how one Eastern European millennial views the world through music and humor. That's more about you. I started as a folk musician, but you can expect covers, vlogs, song reactions, things like that. So this kind of covers what I'm going to get, but it's kind of tucked away at the end, and it's also a little generic. I like the idea of, you're in a location and you're bringing attention. This is one direction. You're bringing attention to other musicians, other people with other talents, and that can explain more to the viewer about what their experience is going to be. But this is an exercise more for you as YouTubers rather than the people reading it, because if you get the channel description right and you kind of commit to it, that's like just putting you on that mental headspace of like, okay, who is this channel for? I know my audience, right? Like, just having that audience avatar in your head and then putting them down to paper, I think is a really cool like exercise that everybody can do.
I think at this point, Dan, we don't need to really critique the titles or the thumbnails or the hooks.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is they are experimenting with a lot of different types of music content, which I think is great. And I would encourage them to do that for the next 3 months. That will take them roughly 6 months into their YouTube journey. And if they're still waking up in the morning and thinking, what YouTube video am I going to make next? Like, they're still passionate and excited about that, then they can start to think a little bit more about the buckets of content of a specific audience they want to speak to. Because right now, I wouldn't want to trample on this creator's just exploration of making content on YouTube, because it feels fresh every time they make something.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that they want to do just music covers at this point or interviews. I don't think it's time for that conversation.
Right. Keep experimenting. Yeah, 8 videos is not nearly enough to like make any super concrete decisions about where you go. You should always keep experimenting. All right. Those were our pre-selected channels.
Shall we quickly tackle the super chats and stuff, get them out of the way, and then we can just blast through some random channels?
Absolutely. Let me get us here. So, WA Gaming says, thank you for helping me. Absolutely. Thanks for being a member for 21 months.
21 months. Bruh. Wow. That's your unique sound effect for today.
5 months from Vipashia Nimbecker.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Okay.
Sorry if that's really loud. I don't know why that sound effect's so loud. I need to fix that.
You reached 526 subs and 2K views. Congratulations. PokeRips MS says, love vidIQ. Y'all have helped me so much getting started. Absolutely. Congratulations.
I have a question. Is that channel avatar a Ghibli Studio AI defacement? Or not?
It's interesting because it kind of looks like they have a little Pokemon card stuff at the bottom there.
Right. vidIQ Chief is just saying, yes, it is.
Yeah, we're going to declare that for you. This is an interesting channel name, I guess. Thanks for becoming a member.
Shall I have a look at that in the background?
Yeah, you'll be hearing from our lawyers. Call me Saber says
that's done. Oh, the sound effect's not working now. It's like the one that I could, like, it didn't work last time because there's no text. Now this time, nothing at all. Let's try it again. There we go.
Oh, I thought you had the Law and Order boom boom.
Have I got that? No, I haven't.
10 memberships gifted from
all right. Well, yeah, they get that sound effect for that one. Yeah. Sorry, these sound effects are a bit blasty and loud. I do apologize.
Hooded Holidays is gifted a membership. Thank you. And then we have a couple super chats. Call Me Saber gifted an additional 10, by the way, before we get to the super
Oh,
chat.
it's another 10. Ugh. Smashed in the face with memberships today.
So Kevin says Fortnite accounts have a lot of perks. Okay, so that was to our earlier conversation.
Do you think it's different if you are playing an online game? And do you think accounts should be required for that? I'm maybe a little more understanding and accepting because of abuse or, rules, terms of service. I feel as if there needs to be a better way to track users for online games.
Yeah, you got cheaters and things like that. You kind of need them, but yeah, I understand the hesitation as well.
Mm.
And then Legends Then and Now says, please review Legends Then and Now. No.
Maybe we will.
Oh,
maybe we will, Dan.
If we pick it randomly.
We might randomly pick them.
If we locked video and channel reviews behind super chats, no random selections would happen.
We would have retired 3 years ago as well. We would have been filthy, stinking rich.
Yeah.
But we are slaves to the vidIQ crew community, and we want to keep this free.
Archie Films just jumped in as a YouTube member and gifted a membership as well.
Nice. Appreciate it.
And then Koifish Gaming for 23 months. 23andMe better move over. Okay. Thank you, Koifish Gaming. All right. Thank you for your super chats and memberships. Appreciate it. So, random selection time. We're going to go to our forms and we're going to use the boring picker to pick channel randomly.
I'll still play the sound effect though.
I have the sorry?
I'll still play the sound effect when you do.
Okay. So I have this. We're going to pick 192. Not a quad. Just an extension I made. All right. And we will jump over to YouTube where we see our channel, the Russian
Hussar.
Sorry. Yeah, I don't know what that means.
It must be a history channel, I guess.
Yeah. We see a thumbnail structure for these videos right off the bat. Which is interesting. Arrows.
Shall I play the sound effect again? So, red text on thumbnails, generally speaking, we disapprove. In certain cases, they can be used and they are very effective. One case where they can be used is red on white, but not with a black drop shadow because it makes the text almost illegible on some of these.
It's very difficult to read most of these, I would say. I have to kind of look at them for a lot longer than you want someone to be looking at a thumbnail. Yeah. I should be deciding whether or not I'm going to click, but I'm just staring at the text like, what does that say?
Now, having said that, the red arrow and the black and white photos in most cases and the blue border, that does give it a certain level of branding, Dan. I think there's some consistency going on there.
I think so
interesting.
Too. Yep. Yeah, I think so too. I was going to say, like, some of the stuff, there's just not enough contrast. Like this one in particular I'm looking at, I think this is a really unique idea for a video, but I can't really see the thing that you're trying to tell me to make. It's just it's like a little pastry on like a black and white background, and it doesn't look like much.
Yeah, the red arrow can only do so much, can't it? It can direct your eye to a certain point in the thumbnail, but it still has to be striking, stand out.
Yeah.
There are ones where there's 3 red arrows pointing to 3 men on horses. Are they the hats, different hats? I'm looking at this Busby Prussian one, yeah.
Yeah. Stuff like this I think works all right. They're a little small. It's just like when you look at this one here too, it's in color, but the food like almost blends into the background. You know, this counter is kind of there, like all the colors are the same throughout. So again, contrast is really lacking with this thumbnail. It's just little details like this that are making me have to look at it longer than I want to be looking at it. I want to be like thinking about, oh, do I want to learn how to like make this food or what was going on back then? And yeah, I would be working on, I think, some of these thumbnails. I get that also sometimes this is the best picture you have.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's only so much
a challenge, yeah. So let's step back, Dan, and try and figure out actually what the challenge is about. And I think it's about World War I and the conflict on the east side of Europe between Russia and Germany and their allies. I could be wrong about that. I mean, the description's kind of telling us that a little bit more. My question might be here is there a proven English-speaking audience that's interested in this very particular aspect of the war? Because there are channels that cover World War I and World War II more holistically, and that is like, I have a great interest in the Second World War, and I can watch anything really about that topic. But when we're going into this much detail, like, am I interested in the uniforms? I don't know if my interest could be held for long enough. So is there like quite a low ceiling here of audience? Like, I'm guessing maybe 10,000 to 20,000 people might be really deep into this topic and be passionate about it. So it's one of those cases whereby could the creator maybe think about niching out a little bit? This is like maybe all uniforms from anybody, any of the armies in the First World War, as a thought and example.
Yeah, there's a lot of comparisons you can make between the different uniforms, and
Yeah,
artillery, and
that's a good idea. Yeah.
There's a lot of cool things you could do. I think niching out would be a really good strategy for a channel like this. I like their ideation process, though. I like this idea of covering like food rations and things like that. That's all very interesting. I think they're onto something. It's just stuff needs a little bit of tweaking. It looks like they're still trying to figure out thumbnails. When you look back to their first thumbnails from a few years ago, these didn't do too bad, and it was them sitting in their space, and then they kind of had like things on the screen they were pointing at
in
and
character. Looks cool.
Yeah. Then you got into this like more just like old photo style of thumbnails, and I don't like these as much, but they're not. I wouldn't say they're hurting you. Some of your view counts are pretty good. It's just sometimes they're easier to like determine than others, and I worry that this creator is really focused on like thumbnail branding. Like, well, I have to do it this way. This is the branding I've settled on, and I don't know if you need to do that. I think branding is cool, and like having a stylistic choice like a font that you always use is fine, but I mean, I gotta say, I really don't like the blue border on these. That particular color of blue, for some reason, against the white and the dark mode that I'm using, is just looks awful.
And now that YouTube have curved thumbnails, they just never look quite right. It always makes the corners look a bit weird and unfinished almost.
Yeah.
Do we want to? I was looking at how to bake original World War I German field rusks. I'm thinking, how do you kind of make that a broader appeal topic? It might be something on the lines of what rations did the Germans eat between 1914 and 19, or in World War I? Like, I think going German field rusks feels like a bit too much deep keyword researchy as a thought. And then can we just click on that video, Dan? I want to see the first 15 seconds.
Can I make something edible? And what does the receipt look like? Join me as we break down the ingredients and process of making German World War I rusks. Today, we are diving just a bit into the history of the rusks in the German army from 1860 up to the First World War. And I'm challenging myself to
Okay, pause it. Pause it. Can we just go to like the end? Do we see the finished result of these? Because we need some B-roll here in the first 15 to 20 seconds to show us a little bit more of what you're making. Like, obviously you're doing the making process in the video, which is cool.
It will not load.
But we'd like to see like the in process production or the end results if YouTube wants to. That's funny, that sound effect as it starts. Just make me laugh a little bit.
Afterwards, cook up the eggs.
I was gonna say, for cooking videos, I think silence and just mixing a bowl, you shouldn't probably have moments like that. I don't watch a lot of cooking videos that do that. Usually at least they'll montage it with some music or something and high speed kind of, but normally they just kind of cut. So I'm gonna mix this for 5 minutes. Boom, we're next shot. You're not a cooking channel. It's not a big deal. But it's just something I instantly noticed. I'm skipping around.
Take out the dough and roll it out to a thickness of around 10 to 7 millimeter.
I'm not measuring my dough. You should absolutely show me how thick it is so that I get a general idea, because I'm just not getting the tape measure. No, I think this is cool. I like that they challenge themselves to make this, you know. And the problem for me is like getting back to what you were saying. I don't know what a rusk is, but I know that soldiers had to do things to survive, right? So
Yeah.
if you approach it from that perspective, well, okay, I know now what a rusk is. I'm just saying, as I'm scrolling through YouTube, I don't think like I don't know what a rusk is. I'm just gonna keep scrolling. Like, focus on the thing that a new viewer like me. No one who does that. Hold on. No.
Time out.
No. Who here who bakes food measures literally with a measuring device to see how thick your product is before you move on to the next step? Measuring cups, that's one thing. Measuring liquids. I'm talking about using a tape measure to measure the thickness of dough or something. Like, there's no way. Not one of you does that. There's a tape measure. There's always tape in the kitchen. Tape measure? I think I'm being trolled. Anyway, go on.
Anyway,
eyeball it. Absolutely. Nope. Liars. Go on, Rob. It's your time to audit. I'm retired from this one.
I don't think I've got anything else to add. I think we've covered a lot there. I love the creator's passion, the fact that they're getting into uniform every video, and yeah, I think we are critiquing the YouTube fundamentals here in terms of like the thumbnails, the hook, which didn't show the final product, and like we're struggling to see it in the thumbnails as well. So yeah, I think that's more than enough for this creator to be working on. Let's pick another one, shall we?
I can't eat at Dan's. He doesn't even measure his biscuits. Are you insane? There's no way I'm going to eat there. I have to log back into YouTube. So Rob's going to regale you with a story about a video game he played.
Oh, okay. Yes, I play video games on occasion, and Dead Trigger 2 is a 10-year-old iOS game that I'm playing, and I'm killing lots of zombies. And it's one of those classic mobile games where you purchase something and then you have to wait 3 days for it to be made or prepared. But you can spend some in-game currency to speed up the process. And I ain't doing that. I'll just wait. I'm happy to wait. Yeah, I think you've already learned of my resistance to purchasing anything on a mobile device. All of the apps I have on my mobile devices are free, including vidIQ's app, which is also free for you to download. What a wonderful segue. Back to Dan.
Okay, so yeah, we got over 200 on the gaming forum here.
Don't forget to share your screen.
Yeah, it's coming up now. There we go. And there's no claw. I'm just using this random number picker I made. 174. YouTube is my pension plan. That's the goal of the channel.
All right, I can appreciate that.
A lot of pressure.
We all hope for that.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on us. What do you think your biggest obstacle right now?
Here's a quick question. Do you think YouTube will exist when you retire?
Interesting. Yeah. I don't know.
There's a question for you.
Every what and how to edit my shorts. So that's their biggest obstacle. They're trying to learn how to edit their shorts. And they want to focus on something.
Well, before we move any further, like, you want to earn money and retire on a pension, and you're going to do it through shorts? You're going to need about 10 trillion views there, my friend.
Also, you want to still look at your thumbnails, but your obstacle's editing shorts. So I guess we'll focus on long form, but we'll definitely watch some editing tutorials.
Let's have a look at the channel, shall we?
Yeah. So let us pray too. Okay. We have a handful of long form videos. How many shorts do we have? Just to see. Okay, maybe we have to focus on shorts because I feel like this is where they're spending a lot of their time.
This is a gaming channel, right?
Yeah.
This is from the gaming channel list. Okay.
So what are your first thoughts?
Just, when we saw the piano channel earlier on, and like, even though they didn't have custom thumbnails, like you immediately got what they are about. This is kind of feeling like the anti-content version of this. I don't know from title and thumbnail from one to the next what the focus of the channel is. Is it this duo to gold game? I'm not sure. If we scroll down anymore, do we get an idea? Covert Ops. I'm assuming these are all of the same game, but I'm not entirely sure. And then I'm seeing a lot of memes plastered over these as well, whether it's reaction memes or Hayden Christensen trying to act in Star Wars.
If your goal is to make a living from YouTube, I think it's really important to focus on long form videos. But even if you don't focus on long form videos, like I really like shorts and I know it'll pay me all the money one day, cool. Then you need a channel focus in either case, as Rob's saying. Like even though it's shorts, we should be able to kind of get a sense of what this channel is day to day. Like, why should I subscribe to this channel? And when your shorts pop up, what's going to keep me coming back? There are shorts that have like a unique aesthetic whenever I see them on my home feed, I always click on them because I know who's making them. I go back to this example a lot, and this has nothing to do with gaming, but I just want to show you what I mean, because this is like the channel pops up when I think about this. If you go to Trevor's channel and you look at his shorts, it's something about the camera angle and the colors and the fact that it's always pizza, obviously.
It's making me hungry.
I know. It makes these just wild pizzas. I love this channel so much. It's really funny. It's got this dry sense of humor, and I always click these. If they pop up my home feed, YouTube knows to show it to me right away, just like any other long form video. I always click them without fail.
Another tangential question here. Do you put pineapple on your pizzas? If you do, please vacate the stream. You are no longer welcome.
Correct.
Do we dare risk watching one of these shorts, Dan?
Gosh, well, this one will go almost 10,000 views.
All right, let's do this one.
All right.
I
can't mute the music. I can't. Like, my shorts controls are like completely broken.
I noticed. Yeah.
It seems like it was a meme of some kind. So yeah, the occasional meme getting 10,000 views, not terrible. But I really think you should be kind of going back to basics in terms of like what kind of community do you want to build? What should people come to expect from you? That is going to be the thing that kind of sets you apart. At the end of the day, there's so many channels like this. We see channels like this all the time. And if you want to build out YouTube to be like a pension for you one day or a full-time job or whatever it might be.
Oh my God, there's a pineapple revolt going on in here in the chat. Even the faceless leader. This person.
I think we were pretty clear that you can leave the stream, and I haven't seen the numbers drop yet, despite all of the outrage. So you're not even following directions. Okay.
Goodness me. Why do we even bother?
Yeah. What do you think this is? Because I don't know. We should look at channels. All right. 205. Not a claw. It's a little extension I made that picks channels randomly. All right. This is a workout channel. I know that because I see the thumbnails, I see the titles, I see the body sculptor in the channel banner. This is a channel about getting fit.
This is brilliant instinctive branding. Like, if I want to get absolutely ripped, then this is a channel to go to.
So they would like, okay, the goal of their channel is analyze my thumbnails. I think they're just asking us to look at their thumbnails there. Biggest obstacle. I want to understand it if I'm not growing because my niche is hard. Okay. And then thumbnails and video quality. Okay, so they want us to look at their thumbnails. And
let's do a quick analysis of the channel and where they're at then in terms of how many videos, 50 videos, 2,000 subscribers. Videos are getting thousands of views. I would say, quite honestly, you are ahead of where you might expect to be, given a number of videos you've done. How old is the channel? Just to check. I'm guessing maybe 6 months.
2023 is when they
2023,
joined.
yeah.
The oldest video was a year ago.
Yeah. I mean, I think I would say you're maybe like 80 to 90% ahead of other fitness channels in your niche at this point in your journey, because it is a highly competitive space and has been for like probably over a decade. I would describe the fitness niche as one of the very mature niches on YouTube, similar to tech, similar to gaming, similar to like finance channels. It's been around forever. Thumbnails for me are, I would say, nothing short of stunning. Like the way, I guess the one criticism I might have, if you wanted me to give you some constructive feedback, is yes, you look like a stud, but it's always just you kind of in a pose rather than you maybe showing the body part that you want to emphasize and work out on. Now, maybe the reason you're not doing this is because the one about how to get rid of back pain, where you did show a thumbnail of you, wrenching in a bit of agony, fake agony, that video didn't perform as well as the others. So maybe they've already done this A/B testing, but it is just me in a kind of pose and then some text is the most effective test.
Another alternative to this thumbnail would have been you doing the thing that relieves the back pain,
right? Yeah.
Rather than just expressing that, back pain, because people already know that from the title and the text and the thumbnail. I guess what we could do is look for one of these on YouTube to see like other thumbnail strategies that are working for other channels. 10-minute toned upper body dumbbell workout. So if I type in 10-minute dumbbell workout. Okay, so this one's a lot different. Like less text.
Yeah, a little cleaner.
We're holding dumbbells. Upper body dumbbells. This is similar to yours, where it's like person who's just fit, but the dumbbells aren't there. But this one, I think I like this one the best. Like we have the person
in action. Yeah.
In action, right. So that's like the common thread between most of these is dumbbells are present clearly in most of these thumbnails.
And also, most of these are relying on a little less text. Like these are text heavy. You can see the time it takes, the part of the body that you're working out, but then you've got some text in the bar at the bottom, the underline. I'm never going to be able to read that in these thumbnails. So there could be a little bit. And like, again, do you need the logo in your videos? Because I think the branding here is already really strong.
Mm-hmm. I do too. I don't think that's needed. So yeah, I think what we're saying is when it comes to thumbnail text, less is more. And we seem to be in agreement that you should be testing more in action. Like this one's you in action, plank challenge. You're doing a plank. I mean, that did pretty well. 2.5K views is pretty standard for you. This back pain one also did really well. Maybe it was because this video is still doing well that the other back pain video just didn't.
Right.
Oh, wait, was this later? I got lost in my timeline here. Oh, what happened?
Is it because you came back here and have they just released the video? Literally, yeah.
Okay. Oh no, 10 months ago. What's happening?
Oh, hang on. What's going on here?
Videos. Okay, here we go. It's
right,
it was showing like oldest or popular
sure.
mislabeling it. Okay. Yeah, this back pain video, 2.2K views. And the newer one, you posted it maybe like 5 months, 2 months. Maybe you didn't need to come back to this one so quickly, but I don't know. This one's 10 minutes. This was 5 minutes. Maybe that's the difference. Like the other video is double the amount of like time to fix the thing that looks like the same problem. It's your lower back in both of the thumbnails. So what changed? You know what I mean? These might be the nuances a fitness channel has to like think about.
What's the video length? Is it that one's 5 minutes? What about the other one? Was it 5 minutes as well? 11. So maybe people can't survive writhing in agony for 10 minutes to get their back fixed.
Yeah.
I'm being a bit flippant there, I know. If we just can we just play one of the videos down very quickly? I just want you to like show the first 5 seconds and then just jump into like the middle of it if your internet can hack it.
I have to mute it.
Music.
I want to know if any talking happens. No. So this is a not a copyright-free song. This is not a song that's going to let you get away with playing it on YouTube without paying money. I recognize this song, so that is going to be my advice. Can eat my salted milk chocolate pecan caramel clusters. Well, make sure to measure the thickness of those though with the tape measure.
So I don't know if this is a gender difference, but I see when they're doing female workouts, there's a lot more a conversation and motivation to the person doing these workouts as opposed to music. I don't know if a creator may want to experiment with a more verbal conversation with because I assume they're doing these workouts and they want the viewer to follow along with them. So maybe that could add like a more unique personality and flair, and again, motivation and inspiration. But I think to summarize, Dan, my opinion is if this channel had launched 10 years ago, there might at this point be at like tens of thousands of subscribers and millions of views. It's a competition thing. They're just in a really saturated market, but they're still growing, which is a really good thing. So I guess what do you do to combat that? You look at maybe workouts that like just are being underserved on the audience, or like parts of a body where you have an expertise and like other people aren't really focusing on that part of the body, be it the calves or the triceps. I don't know. This is not a space I really understand other than mentioning the muscles that I'm aware of.
Yeah,
it's like they've got the fundamentals. The execution is brilliant.
Yep.
They've just got to find like their little pocket of opportunity.
Here's what I'll say. I mean, this might come as a shock to a lot of you, but I don't really work out a lot. So,
Dan, come on now.
I physically don't. But if I work,
well, of course, you physically don't. Like, could you mentally work out? I don't know.
I don't know. It doesn't give me arms like this, is what I'm saying. So what I was going to say is that if I wanted to follow along with this video, I wouldn't choose this creator only because they aren't telling me what to do. Like so far in the couple videos we watched, it's music and them doing the thing. But I want to know, is it important for my hands to be like this? Like I'm the kind of person who overthinks this stuff a lot, because I've met people back in the day when I was like working out more and I met people who were really into it, they would nitpick everything I did. I had people spotting me on the bench and it was literally like, no, put your arms here. Like everything I was doing was wrong. And so it made me really, maybe a lot of people have this, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I'm really self-conscious about like, am I doing this right? So I like workout videos when people actually explain where things need to be. Your arms should be making this like, L shape, and your hands need to be together for this reason. Or if you prefer, you could put your hands on the mat. Like they're not giving me that. And so I think I would find somebody who's going to handhold me a little bit more. Maybe your workouts are for more advanced people. That's fine too. But I would be thinking about that. If you want newer viewers who are like me, very scrawny, I think it would be helpful to like explain more. And I don't know if this creator explains anything in their videos just based on what we've seen so far. I think it's literally music that is going to get the video demonetized, and no one's mic'd, and you could voice this over after the fact. Like, and as an educator, like just that first part is like, maybe I'm coming from a place of like, I explain YouTube to people a lot and I try and keep in mind the different varying degrees of skill people have and like stuff they've learned so far in all my videos. So anyway, that's where I'm coming from with that critique. I have to switch accounts. Sorry.
All right.
We'll go to the next one.
Yeah, let's do that.
Pineapples are winning in the pineapple pizza poll. We can't see that poll, so I think it's rigged.
Why is everyone wrong, Dan? I don't
know. It's weird. Everyone's really wrong today. Gaming channel.
We need tariffs on pineapples pizzas. now.
All right, number 44. Okay, so they want to build a community and become a trusted, well-known creator in their niche. Their biggest obstacle is knowing how to improve. I'm going to say what to improve, perhaps.
Well, maybe they don't know what they don't know.
Yeah. And then content quality is what it wants to focus on. Why certain videos do better than others. All right. Hootcraft YouTube, YT. Minecraft channel. All right. So number 1, why certain videos do better than others. Minecraft is the gaming equivalent of a workout channel in the sense that it's very competitive. It's just a very
more so. Yeah.
Way more competitive than a workout channel. Yeah. So that might be one of the reasons. Certain things people are going to see, maybe because you just nailed the packaging. Other things, maybe they're too niche. So yeah, that's my basic answer there. Love these thumbnails, by the way. I think they do a good job of nice, easy to read text. You are trying to explain the concept of your videos with your thumbnails, which is really good. And I think they're titles, right? How to build better auto fuel farms, easy spider spawner, XP and loot farm. You're also saying Minecraft, Bedrock, and Java, and that's, I think, for people who play one or the other, that's important. How to build the best XP farm in Minecraft Bedrock. Didn't do as well.
Yeah, I'm wondering if, because the last 3 videos look as if they've all kind of flopped a little bit. But I'm wondering, is it because each video needs several days to be picked up?
Yeah.
And served to the right audience? I don't know if that's true or not.
I'll give you an example. I did a video here recently for Twitch versus YouTube to help streamers decide if they're going to stream one or the other. And the last time I did this was years ago. And I didn't do it again for years because all I remembered was the video didn't perform well. And then we check on it later and it's like, oh, this video actually picked up much, much later and reached a really wide audience. Let's update it now. And it's also not doing super well right now, but I have a feeling that it's more search-based and it's going to just kind of grow over time. And these videos feel similar to me.
I think certain videos not performing as well as others tends to be a creative choice or decision by the creator, which isn't as familiar to the audience as what they might expect. Having said that, I'm not well versed enough in Minecraft to know if the second row of videos here, which are about how to build specific things, are all connected in a way that means that the audience resonated with them. And then how to build better in Minecraft in 6 easy steps is maybe too vague. It's kind of overgeneralizing. And the best XP farm in Minecraft Bedrock is, have they played Bedrock elsewhere? They have done, but does the XP farm relate to everything else in the previous videos? I'm not sure. I'm trying to find out where the possible disconnect is for the audience.
Yeah.
But the other side of this is we go down to videos from a few months ago and they are getting 600 views, 700 views, 200 views. There's one outlier there, and then the more recent views are, some of them are 1,000, 1,002. So I think there is a gradual increase in the overall output of each video, but it still remains spiky. I'm going to try and do one of these graph things again. So it's kind of doing that, if that makes any sense. Peaks and troughs, but the view count is gradually going up. That probably looked really weird to everybody on the stream there.
You know what I wanted to point out with this outlier video is that I don't know what a secret Jeb door is. I know Jeb is the CEO of Minecraft, but I don't know what a secret Jeb door is, and it's intriguing enough to where I would click on that. But you know what I've seen a million times are mob grinding farms and different tutorials for making different things in my Minecraft world. There will always be a need for people to find tutorials like this, and there's always a reason to update them because the game keeps updating and there's new methods. But it is a very competitive space because we are talking the lowest hanging fruit in Minecraft is mob grinding and just farming materials in general and building things with redstone, because they're the more complex mechanics that new players don't really know, and everyone does them. Everyone, so many people are covering these because it's okay, the needs of Minecrafters are very easy to understand, and therefore I will make videos that answer and address every single one. And so you're just in this really busy space. But when you did something that was a little more like, what does that mean? That stood out. And that's what's standing out to me, is just the fact that this is not just any secret door. I'm not going to tell you how to make just any old 3x3 piston door. No, this is the secret Jeb door. This is a different method that I'm showing you, and it's a less commonly talked about one. So if you can find moments like this is like, I think, powerful. You might mean more hits and misses here and there, but this stood out to me because of that. Like, because otherwise, like the other Minecraft buckets we've seen are people who build incredible things, but with the things you're building, they don't have to look pretty. They just need to function. And then there's people who do PvP, and like that's competitive too. You have to be really good at it, have the best tips, things like that. Like, you are covering the niche where you give tutorials, but it's just crowded. So more unique tutorials could be a thing, but I understand that's a challenge.
And again, foundationally speaking, I think the channel is in a good place. I think they understand their audience's needs for education in Minecraft, and they also have these moments of unique inspiration, I think, as Dan has highlighted there. The thumbnails look pretty solid. The titles, I think, fit the nature of the content.
Mm-hmm.
And, we see other Minecraft channels that are barely breaking a dozen views per video, and they've been at this for years. Whereas this channel, if we scroll back to the top down, I think they've made around about 100 video. Yeah, it's a 100 video mark, reaching 1,000 subscribers. I wouldn't be surprised if they're getting up there in watch hours as well. So like, it's all a positive but gradual momentum that I think this channel has.
Yeah, absolutely. We see a lot of Minecraft channels. What's the oldest video? A year ago? I mean, not many Minecraft channels get over 100 views in their first video, much less like ones that started just a year ago.
Yeah.
You have the fundamentals down for sure.
Even within this channel auditing space, it feels like you're ahead of maybe 85% of other Minecraft channels we've audited who have been on the platform for a similar amount of time as you and have made the same number of videos. So like, yeah, I want you to like pat yourself on the back for where you've got to so far.
Mm-hmm. So thank you for submitting your channels today. We had some fun conversations. Hopefully they were insightful.
Disturbing ones as well about pineapple. I don't think I'm going to sleep tonight.
Yeah,
knowing that more than half of you are just like absolute pizza rebels. Jeez.
I hate that I would eat after the stream, but my appetite is just destroyed. So I guess I'm just gonna have a sip of salt water and cry.
Yeah, let's go on hunger strike until next channel audit.
Yeah. Thank you for being here. We're just messing with you, of course. Have a great rest of your day. Anything else we want to shout out? We have a podcast. We got a whole podcast channel to boost. Check that out. Yeah, I don't know. Videos coming soon. And that's it.
That's it for today. I think it's been a pleasure. As always, Dan, you remained suave throughout. I think I will be hosting next week. So we'll see what happens.
All right. When's the next live stream? Tuesday, same time as this one started. Hour and a half. Look at your clock and subtract an hour and a half from it. That's when we start. All right. Goodbye.
Good.